Thank you so much for listening to the KJNA podcast. You can email us at kjnapodcast@gmail.com.
Give us a call or text or leave us a message at 858-848-KJNA. That's 5562.
You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky, and YouTube at KJNA Podcast.
Don't forget, we have 6 hours of bonus content over on our Patreon, patreon.com/KJNA Podcast. And if you want to donate to us, find us at buymeacoffee.com/KJNA Podcast.
Thank you so much for listening.
Love you.
Jay, do you have any questions? Because I feel like I've been taking up all the time.
Oh, I mean, whenever we have a guest, I usually let you go off the rails.
I can go off the rails on talking. So
my questions are usually like, since you've been in the industry, you've done basically one book. You've got this book. You're thinking about a sequel to another book, to this book. Like, what would you like to do after book 2?
So I essentially have, I'd say, probably 4 or 5 projects done. Those are what I want to hit that I've worked on between 2018 and 2009. I have a children's book, like I said, the one with Fred. Hopefully I'll be able to stick with Fred, but if things don't work out, I just keep the script and, find someone else that timing aligns with. So I've got a children's book. I've got the second series, which is kind of like a supernatural BPRD meets Soul Eater for anyone who's read or watched Soul Eater. I am a huge Soul Eater fan. I'm one of the people who grew up at a time when manga and anime was not cool. And I remember there was a kid in my middle school who we went to high school together, who we were talking about the Naruto manga as it was coming out. And it was like a drug deal off to the side. We're not speaking about it in front of people. Now, my kids are in school and it's like everyone's got this, that, and it's just public knowledge. That was not what I grew up in. I love Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, that whole 90s era. I am a Dragon Ball Z child. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is life. It is all that kind of stuff like that. That was what really inspired me. If anything, I'm very much inspired by comics, but I am so inspired by that early 90s, 2000s Toonami anime. Soul Eater being one of them. Fantastic book. I finally started Fire Force after years, and I'm trying to, work through Fire Force. Probably about halfway through that. But Soul Eater, the way that they took the horror out, just the name of Frank and Stein, that to me was just, that's the coolest thing in the world. I don't know why, but just the fact that that's how they did that, or sorry, she did, that is the coolest thing in the world. Blue Exorcist, I can, name them. Awesome stories, and I was like, I would love to do something like that too. So I'd probably say this is how stories work, at least in my head. If they don't last, I can have an idea and I get really passionate about it for a week or two. What I need to do is let it settle. Am I going to be interested in that a year from now or 2 years from now? Because if I'm not, I'm not going to put in the time and effort. This is a story idea that I've had since high school, college. There's an early iteration that's absolutely terrible. I feel really bad for my friend who read it because crap and horrible. But I took those core pieces and that inspiration of Soul Eater, BPRD. Again, changes happen, and this is why editors are great. This is why mentors are great. I took my original idea and I took it to Dirk, and it was Dirk Manning, who's now the publisher at SourcePoint, and the literary agent that I was working with at the time. And a lot of the feedback that I got was hey, there's a lot of people who do supernatural books, and they're violent, and it's sex, gore, and all this other stuff. No one's done it at a teen audience yet. I don't like Twilight. I'm not a fan of Twilight, but it was huge for that age group. That was a huge age group. That was something that worked for them. I'm also a ginormous Tolkien, C.S. Lewis nerd. I love Tolkien. Lord of the Rings. I just got the Silmarillion, which I'm going to try to work through some point this next year. I got The Hobbit. I started reading it to my 4, 5, 3-year-old. When I can get them to settle, they get super interested. So That's the kind of stuff that I'm into. But the Lord of the Rings is a perfect example. While it might have like some mature themes in the violence, you can hit every age group. So with this idea that I have, this supernatural book, uh, again, there are test pages, which I'm absolutely completely fine. It's actually on my Instagram and I put it on my Substack. So it's not like anything that is super secret. So if you go to my Substack, you look at things from like 2 years ago on a Halloween, probably on a Halloween time frame. I've got some of the images previews up there. I've got them on my Instagram. That book is BPRD meets Soul Eater, but it's aimed at teens. So that's the second one that I got signed with Source Point. There might be, I want to say the name because I might have to change it because it looks like somebody beat me to the punch on the name. I don't know yet. I gotta see if it's trademark. I gotta see if it's copyrighted. Otherwise, I'm keeping my name, but because it's like an acronym that someone took,
Okay.
so I don't want to say it, and then it turns out that I can't use it. So I'm
Right,
that's.
right.
But regardless, the story idea set is BPRD Soul Eater, aimed at teens. So it's something that like my teenage daughter can watch, and I don't have to work or read, and I don't have to worry about some of the extra adult themes. And again, I love anime. I love, Soul Eater, but the amount of fan service, like as a adult now, it's like it's does my daughter really need to see that? Like, does my son need to see that? Like, yeah, not really.
Yeah.
So I want to capture that same stuff that I loved and put it into something that's aimed at a teen audience while still mature, still violent, not, Disneyified, but it's got those key elements. So as far as next projects, that one is signed, Source Point greenlit it. So it's all going to be dependent on where this book goes, kind of where the finances fall come January, and then it'll be, hey, do I hit the sequel immediately, or since we have part of Spirit already done, we're reworking the script a little bit. Do we hit that, immediately?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
you
I
might
said, I've
wanna
got other projects lined up. I've got the children's graphic novel I've got done. I've got another one, which this is the book that the first script is done. I've got to finish the next three that I had back in 2017, 2018 with the artist who dropped. The script is again, I learned to do taglines. It's Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon meets 300. It's based on a historical event in Chinese history of some really cool stuff because I don't want anyone to take it from me that the Shaolin monks did that are very military esque. There's enough history there for me to play with and make it real, but there's a lot of open notes where I get creative freedom. So I've got that. I'm a martial artist at heart. I've got a jiu-jitsu gym that I own. I've been doing martial arts since I was 5. Again, MMA, whole thing, like martial arts is my life. So this story is a lot to me. It's taken a lot of Taoist influences, Zen influences, the Chen Buddhism, and mixing it in with a very violent, gritty, like as real as I can make it. I want to take the Shaw brother aspect of like Kung Fu is really cool and it's physical and it's kind of beautiful, but I want to take that 300 realism of military grit and what like ancient battle was and how Shaolin monks would actually, as real as I can make it from my own experiences and history knowledge, or like how real I can make it. Like it's not nice. Like skulls are getting cracked, bones are being broken,
Mm.
bodies are flying all over the place, kind of thing. And I have it's an idea or push through. It is the book that I want to do with Klaus. As a father, like again, I try to tell things that are close to me. I have an idea for uh it's wolf and cub in space. And that's the next thing that I want to do with Klaus because Klaus did such a good job with the Six Swords and I love his style. He's also a
Mm.
dad. I just think we would do something really special with that kind of element. So that's the next project. So like I said, I've got a lot of stuff lined up. I've got a lot of scripts done. Really comes down to money and time to get them made because
Yeah.
comics cost money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite anime? I know you
Oh,
mentioned a few that you like, but like what's
all time. All
like,
time.
all the
Got it.
time?
All time.
Yeah.
That would
Number
be
one.
dependent. And I say that beats dependent. I want to say Dragon Ball Z because it was so iconic and pivotal, but it's almost one of those things where it's like, do I have to be snooty and like say something like really under the radar or something like
Say what
that?
your heart tells you,
Then it
sir.
would have to be
Mm.
Dragon Ball Z. Like the whole everything about my childhood was I Super Saiyan 5, Super Saiyan 6. I had Beckett Dragon Ball Z. I'd go to my
Ah,
local
yes, the Sega
Kmart
game.
and I'd pick up the Beckett Dragon Ball Z videos. That's what I would draw. I remember in 5th grade, I was trying to get into art and I would copy it. I wasn't bad at the time, but like I would take the pictures I get from the Beckett Dragon Ball Z things and I try to copy it. My friend was selling my artwork to people in class. Like, and he was taking the money and I was getting like a small fraction of it. So remember, but like Dragon Ball Z, like that's what really pushed me, I think, creatively. Like that Dragon Ball Z is just so pivotal in everything. It's hard to say no, but like I said, I feel like I gotta give like a snooty answer.
You no, just give what's in your
I
heart, man.
mean,
We don't do
and-
I
snooty
mean,
here.
if you go with Dragon Ball Z, like I said, it's gone from Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Daima,
Yep.
the Dragon Ball Super remake, which is going to be coming out soon. All the friggin' movies they've done. Akira Toriyama's baby.
Broly
It's-
movie, I think, is probably my favorite. The recent one that came out.
Yes.
That's probably my favorite one. Just from the anime to the story. Like I wasn't sure how they were gonna change I like the original Broly ones as
Fuck
well.
yeah.
They were great. But
Yes.
this new one's like they hands down best one that they've done.
Thank you. God damn it. Broly
Hands
deserves
down.
all the respect. So much
Yes.
fucking respect.
The way that the way they portrayed it, the way they changed it, they created an actual character, but just the way that
Yes.
they actually the fight, everything. This was cinematic. It was perfectly done. Definitely said favorite movie. And then second, the Bardock movie's pretty cool, just because that's a little more of a
I mean,
classic.
give Bardock some origin, give
Yeah.
Goku's father his due, and then to not just do that, but then be like, he didn't just die. Somehow
He tried fighting off the entire Frieza force and
he-
army of like all of them.
and then he did a second special, and he ended up becoming the legendary Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Boy, come on. Goku was meant to be a Super Saiyan. It was always there. His father was a beast.
I will say the
Goddamn
one
beast.
thing that I love about Toriyama is he is the king of just having nothing in front of him and, and truly freestyling and it's still being gold. I don't know how he does. I can never do it. I've got to at least have some kind of structure in front of me. But that man is just like, I don't know anything. I don't need anything. And I'm still going to make it amazing.
Mm-hmm. He's the anime retcon man.
Yeah.
Oh, what? What? That?
No, I don't care about that anymore.
It's canon now. It's canon.
Yeah, it's canon. It's canon.
Okay. I agree with you, Toriyama. Yes. Big buff guy.
And I won't even argue about it because it's still great.
Yes. It's fucking awesome. Like, shit. Fuck. God damn it, Toriyama.
All
Did you
right.
play
Eternal.
video games at all and have that inspiration?
No,
for it?
I used to. I do not have time for
Dude, I
video
get it.
games.
I get it. It's,
I try. I think the last time, I can't remember the last game that I tried was probably like 2020, 2021. Well, that's what it was. I think I got Zelda on the Switch. The
Ooh, Breath of
first
the
one that
Wild, that's
came
a
on the
good one.
Switch. Yeah, I played it for like a week straight, and like everything, like once it got put down, I completely forgot about. Oh no, actually, I lied. The second South Park game was the last one that I played, and I played it again for like a
Was-
week. Someone got it for like a Christmas gift
Stick
for
of
me,
Truth?
kind of thing. Yeah, Stick of Truth, the second one.
Yeah.
Played it for a week and put it down. Like as much as I would like to play video games, I don't have the time or the bandwidth. Like even watching movies or TV shows, like most of the time I'm rewatching Seinfeld, The Office, Curb Your Enthusiasm, because I just need a time to decompress, and I get like a half hour, an hour at the end of the day. So I think the newest thing that me and my wife started watching was The Agency, Paramount. That's probably like the most recent thing that we watched, but generally I'm not.
Michael Fassbender.
It sucks, but I'm not super enthusiastic about most things on TV. I'm not super enthusiastic about most movies. They're just not. There's nothing memorable. Like even the stuff with Marvel,
No.
I think the last thing I got excited for was Deadpool Wolverine, and that was like in between like a giant gap of being excited for stuff. Like it just
Yeah.
It's an oversaturation
yes.
to a certain point, and there's also like a lot of shows and movies that are basically rehashing like a very
Yep.
basic formula. It's you telling a story is supposed to be art, and you're supposed to love your art.
Yes.
But if you're just making it formulaic, then there's no art. It's just a web, and it can be gross or it can be really pretty. But
Yeah,
9
and
times
most
out
of the
10,
time it's gross or uninteresting and bland.
yeah. So
I was watching.
Where's my dewy spiderweb in the morning that looks like a goddamn dream catcher?
Although I heard Noir Spider-Man's pretty good. I watched like the first episode, but I heard it was pretty good. I don't know.
I need to get into that one too.
I haven't seen
Obviously,
Noah
it's
Spider-Man.
Nicolas Cage.
It's Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
What was that, Kevin? What?
I haven't seen Noir Spider-Man like at all.
I mean, sorry.
I'm
Nicolas
scared.
Cage Spider-Man.
There's
Nicolas
too much.
Cage Spider-Man.
Yeah,
yeah. There's so much out there.
Spider Noir in the Spider-Verse movies. Well, at least first one.
I was watching something with. We watched like 2 movies in a row because we were just like it's lazy day. Watched 2 movies in a row, and my friend got really mad because it was like 10 minutes in. I was like, okay, so this is what's gonna happen, and then it happened both times. She's like, "You ruined everything." I was like, "What? You can see it coming. What's the problem?"
You see it coming, and there's too much of it. Like my time is very limited, and I am not going to waste it on something stupid. Like I'd rather watch something I know I'm gonna like again, The Office, Seinfeld, like one of those shows, turn off my brain, laugh a little bit, and then move on. There's just not a lot of things out there that are exciting. Like I haven't even seen Fantastic Four. Like
Me neither.
Yeah, so you get it.
I'd say of the past versions to this version, this one is probably the best looking. I mean, I could still say that some of the casting is kind of off, but it still works chemically between them. But
so they actually seem to have some sort of bond in that movie?
I think Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal do really well as Reed Richards and Sue Storm. Joseph Quinn is a decent Johnny Storm. Evan does a really good job as just voicing the thing because we barely see him as Ben Grimm. And the guy who plays freaking Galactus, I'm sorry, just his voice alone. You
I
just
don't remember who that is.
Yeah,
oh God, I forget his name, but he's a British actor.
Okay,
and he's been a lot of stuff. You will, if you hear his voice, you'll be like, oh, that guy.
I'm about to do.
I want to say I think it's an R and an E as his initials. Awesome.
Yeah, Ralph Ineson.
Yeah, I was right.
Yeah, haha.
I gotta see.
It was well. It starts with an I, actually, sir. His last name.
Okay, I mean, it's still close. There's R.
It's closer than I would have gotten. That's for damn sure.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
He does a really good job, and the CGI is like on point. It's not like some of the past stuff from like Phase 5 and 6.
Yeah, a lot of people have their decompress time. Like obviously yours is, you need to watch the same thing over again. For me, it's like I want to watch something that is new. Like watching something on repeat is really difficult for me because if I've seen it before, I'm not going to be able to stay focused.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, video games is a decompress for me. If I want to go to sleep, I can read. I love reading, but it's for some reason it instantly puts me the fuck out. Like 20 minutes in. But I love reading. But what about comics? What are your favorite comics, or did you read many of those?
I definitely read comics. I don't read nearly anything anymore. Again, it comes down to a time thing. Although
yeah.
I finally got my my one son pulled in to get him started. I got him Absolute Batman because everyone is reading Absolute Batman, and then Moon Knight as well.
Moon Knight's a good one.
Okay.
Because I am a big Moon Knight fan, and the comic shop that I got him started at was the shop that I used to go to, and the guy there is a huge Moon Knight fan, and he got me on Moon Knight around the same time that Warren Ellis was releasing the Moon Knight, and him and Declan, like they killed it. Like you have a lifelong Moon Knight fan simply from their run as a whole. So I say the last time I really read comics was probably like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Time,
Real life, man.
life. Yeah, real life. It sucks. Now I'm reading like big kid stuff. Like I'm just about done Neil Gaiman's what's it called? Norse mythology. I've got I just got it from Amazon. Like I said, I got the Sumerian, Paradise Lost. I've got Dante's Infernal, the original one, and my cart is like Journey to the West, the Poetic Eddas, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, if I'm gonna grow as a creator, I need to read the old stuff. I need to deep dive into those things. Um,
Yeah.
I listened to enough podcasts and YouTube videos about all this, like the Joseph Campbell and storytelling and all this crap. It's like I
Hmm.
need to actually take time to like read it, highlight it, get good at it. But comics wise, I got into comics 100% because of the 90s Spider-Man. Love the show. Fantastic show. I
Mhm.
am pretty excited that they are going to do a follow-up because that ending, man, was a horrible, horrible cliffhanger for the last like 30 years of my life to leave me on as a cliffhanger for a show.
Yes.
So from what I know, I thought they just did like a comic run for that.
Did they?
I think that's what it is. Just
I
like
will
when I
have to look
heard that
into that.
Gargoyles was coming back, and I was like, oh, they were bringing back the show. No, it was a comic oriented run. So you might want to look
Okay.
for
Then I will need to
that
look
in the
into
comic
that
shop.
because that cliffhanger sucked and it pissed me off
Oh
for years.
yeah,
But that's
yeah.
how they ended the show,
Like, dude,
especially as a
and
kid.
then what
Yeah.
was it? X-Men 97 towards I think like the last couple of episodes, and you see Peter, Mary Jane, and Flash looking at a TV screen on the streets of New York as everything's going down between Magneto and the X-Men. I was like, oh, so Mary Jane's back. I see.
Okay.
I see.
And that's one
Uh,
that I do have to watch. Like I need to sit down with my kids and watch the X-Men, the 97, the new
mhm.
ones. I just haven't had a chance, but it's on my like queue to
Yeah.
watch. But those shows are what pushed me into comics. I know one of the
What's wrong?
big ones is one of my friends. He's still my friend to this day. He started bringing in like Daredevil comics that he had into his like fourth,
Okay.
fifth grade into school.
Outside of tech
I was like, oh, you're a jerk. I gotta go get Spider-Man comics. So I went to a local comic shop and that started it. And I went to like a couple conventions as a kid. If anyone's familiar with Philadelphia, there used to be the Holiday Inn before they knocked it down and turned it into the giant Xfinity Center and stuff like that. So I went to like a crappy like one floor hotel show with like, these are like the true Comic Cons. Like there's no cosplay people. There's no
Yeah.
like cool entertainment. It's like some grungy, pissed off comic dudes who are sitting there with boxes that have
The
stains
smell is
all over them.
palpable. Just
Yeah, there's a must to the air, whole thing. So
I've worn the
I mean,
same clothes for 3
yep,
days.
exactly. Yeah, and they're not going to change it for that show. There was no showering
exactly.
for the last week, no matter whether they want customers or not. So I grew. Spider-Man was a big one for me. I didn't get into DC until probably college. I was a big Marvel guy, Spider-Man being the one.
That's how I was
A
too.
little bit of X-Men, a little bit of Avengers. Got more into Batman and some of the other ones, and then I ended up becoming a huge Superman fan in college. I wrote some of my Substack, but I wrote it for one. I took it from an article I wrote for a website because the website went down and they left it, and I put a lot of work into it. But it's the philosophy of Superman, why he's just the greatest superhero ever. I really got inspired by the Max Landis video where he breaks it down about how Clark is this powerful being. He decides to become Superman. He's like in Max Landis's words is like he's not a pussy like Superman who someone had to die. He's not a douchebag who had a bunch of money and had to be a trauma baby. Like he never had to be pushed into this role. Superman is this ultimate powerful being who simply chose it because he's a good person at heart. Like he just wants to help people. So I break it down the whole thing in a much more extensive way, but in so many words, the Max Landis like philosophy of Superman, it really changed my mind. I always thought he was a boring character. I thought he was bland, and really, I've just found out most of the time they're just bad writers. I think All Star Superman is fantastic. I
Mm.
think Grant Morrison is probably the best Superman writer that I ran across. There's other ones who are really good, but like that All Star Superman, a couple other titles, those really pushed me into the Superman camp. And then Moon Knight, like I said, the Moon Knight, Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey, that run is probably one of my favorite comic runs of all time. Declan, just his artwork was just so perfect for that. Those shorts, it really stuck in my mind. But yeah, comics, manga was a little different because they didn't have sites to pay for it, so you had to go to ones that were even watching anime. It wasn't like you could go find a streaming site that you'd pay for it and, do it the correct way. You had to find alternative means. You had to, go to your local comic shop and look down a bunch of bins and find a VHS or like a DVD pack
It'll
or
be
whatever.
fine. I'm in the middle of something. It needs
It
to
was a
wait.
little different then, but
It's not gonna hurt you.
yeah, as
Go.
far as comics, that's where it came from.
It can wait. Go. I'm in the middle of
Yeah,
something.
manga was
It's a
always kind
spider.
of hard to get to. I mean, even a regular
Okay.
bookstore was
Yeah.
kind of like they kind of have stuff. So yeah, I ended up like Tenchi Muyo.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, this is okay. I mean, there's some sword fighting, but he also has a harem. That I guess that's a cool thing. You can have a harem.
Yeah.
But that
They
works.
get weird.
Big enough
Yeah.
sword. I guess you can have any harem you want.
Bow. Nobody knows about Bow, but yeah, Bow was crazy. Like body dysmorphia, superpowers, psychic, cyborg. It crossed everything. It wanted to
Yeah, I
do
can't get into the body
everything. And it was
dysmorphia
cool.
stuff. That's like one
Like
of the few things that I'm just not into as far as like a story.
It only fit the story because of how the main character gets his powers.
Okay.
That's the only way it fit into the story. And his wasn't like grossly written. It was
Yeah, okay.
it was a very streamlined,
It was
easy
tasteful.
transformation for him. Yeah, for
Tasteful
him.
dysmorphia.
Not for the beginning of the book. No, that poor dog went through some shit. Yes, dogs. Dog was no.
Yep,
That was unnecessary.
Uh,
That was unnecessary.
Speaking of dogs and a good anime, Full Metal Alchemist.
Shush.
See, and that's the one.
But
That's
yes.
the first thing I think of when I hear dogs in anime, and I was like, I can't.
Shut But yes.
Trauma and anime.
Yeah,
So much. It doesn't matter which version. Doesn't matter if it's the actual manga. Doesn't matter if it's the first version or the second version of the anime. Either way, it happens.
It's the same every time. In a terrible way. Which again, we'll keep going.
You make me cry.
The trauma, whatever you want to call it, of manga and anime, Berserk. That is one that I started and I haven't gotten real far, but I've seen enough stories. I'm like, do I want to try to go through and read this? Is it really worth it? I don't know if it is.
I think you and I were talking about watching the Berserk movie one time because I think they had a movie.
There's a couple, I think. There's like a couple series and
movies, and I think they actually took the movies and then broke them down into like series, so you could actually watch all three as a series instead of like it's some movies.
I remember looking it up and being like, "What the fuck?"
Here, okay, I figured it out because my brain started working. I've had a long day.
Ooh.
So, 2 favorite manga all time. Number 1, Vagabond. Vagabond is one of the most gorgeous, beautifully renditioned pieces of visual medium, comic, manga, whatever that I've ever read. It is amazing. So if no one's read Vagabond, you will not see more beautiful artwork ever. That was actually a huge inspiration for the martial arts book that I am working on, was Vagabond. Love it. Second to that is Vinland Saga. The anime
Vinland Saga was good.
I was very happy with. I was very happy. Second season I didn't get to watch. First season, very happy with the way that it came out. I have to finish it, but Vinland Saga was a big favorite as well.
They wrapped it up real good.
Did they? Perfect.
They did. They wrapped it up real good because it felt like a good quality ass ending when it was done.
And I believe the manga's still going. I think it's still,
is it?
Or it might have just finished recently, like in the last year or two. I can't remember.
I have to do a Google on that one. I'm not sure.
But Vagabond is incomplete, which pisses me off to no end. And it'll probably never be finished. But God, is this
George R. Martin?
Oh, that's
what?
But also, yeah.
That's another person who is just like, you pissed me off, and I know you are never going to finish this ever.
Gonna take my time. Getting so much because it doesn't matter.
There's one fan theory that I think is actually pretty accurate. It's that whatever happened in the TV show, which sucked, was actually what his idea was to finish the book that they took, and he realized how bad the result was, and now he doesn't have an idea, and he can't basically write himself out of his ending because that was basically the ending more or less. And I buy into it. Makes sense.
I mean, maybe they
Honestly,
could do like
yeah.
they did with the Wheel of Time and have Brandon Sanderson finish it for me.
Yeah, that was, he's got a show coming out too. He's someone who I've not read his work yet.
Oh God,
However,
he's got so much good work, man.
well,
So
as a listening to his, I watch or listen to whatever his lectures on YouTube. I've gotten into his work a ton from that side. Now it makes me want to go out and buy his books because the way that he approaches story, the way that his personality, he is a
so
I have not read a single book, but I'm like, that dude is talented. He knows how to tell a story. And yes, absolutely. Give him, the rest, everything Martin has sitting in a closet or box somewhere
yeah,
and let him finish the book.
yeah. I started didn't enjoy Brandon Sanderson until I finished the Wheel of Time, and I
Okay.
realized he had finished it, and I was like, oh shit, he's really good, And then I went and looked into that, and all his stories, and his stories are so good. Him and Peter V. Brett. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No, I have
He
not.
wrote he wrote he's got a trilogy, and he's 2 of 3 into the second trilogy of it called the Demon Saga,
Okay.
and it's a world that I hadn't basically the whole world is that people are stuck behind wards that you draw, and because demons come out at night and
Oh,
they slaughter, and I mean they come everywhere. So it's like
I'll have to check
it's
that
such an
out.
interesting. He sets it up so good in the first 50 pages that I it's one of the only books I've read series I've read through twice.
Okay.
And then the second trilogy is all the original characters' kids uh doing stuff in that world, and it's phenomenal, so
I
good.
will have to check that out.
Original concepts, original magic. Like it's mostly a fantasy, like medieval sort of world, magic
Yeah.
and sort of whatever, but it's so good. It's so damn good. I
Okay.
love that series.
I will add that to the list because I am, like I said, I am reading more. I am reading more books. That's been like my pastime thing. Like my kids are in a sports thing, or I've got to go wait in the doctor's room. I'm now bringing books with me, running through them,
Hmm.
highlighting them, trying to enjoy them from story, but also trying to learn from other people, um, in that medium. Which I've tried to write. I sort of trying to write a novel. 2 of them, God, they suck.
It's
I
hard.
much rather write a comic book than sit here like makes me appreciate Tolkien way more of the way he's like it's very detailed and very like,
Yeah.
zoned in on like telling the picture. I'm like, I don't want to do all this work. Can I just tell somebody and they
Yeah.
and they do it for me? It's definitely a different kind of art. It's definitely more difficult. Speaking of books, I can't remember. Maybe you guys know what it's called. There's like a world and the people are broken up by colors. It's like red, gold, something like that. I started that on audiobook a month ago. They're
The
like
Black Prism?
mining. No, no, it was
No,
like
no.
now I'm gonna look it up. I there was a line that came through on like Instagram, like the algorithm, like it picks things up. Well, there was just
Yeah,
some
yeah.
quote that came from the movie. It's like, holy crap, that's badass. What is this book called? And it was like there's like their society is on Mars and they're like based off of it's like a whole uh genealogy of like the reds are this, the golds are obviously the golds, and there's like the military, the greens, something like that. It's got a lot of praise in a way. I gotta find it.
I watched I've been listening, or I listened to an audiobook recently. It was called The Black Prism because you mentioned colors, and the whole thing is there's magic in the world, but the magic is based off of color.
Red
So like you
Rising.
could Red Rising. Oh, isn't that based off of no, it sounds like a video game with the red
It
where
might
you can
be.
destroy everything in Mars. Red Red Faction. Red Faction
Okay, yeah, this is
was the
Red
name.
Rising, Hell Driver Mining Company of Mars. And then I looked it up and it got a bunch of like good reviews and it was pretty cool. That was a random thing that Instagram threw in my face.
Thanks, Instagram, for
Yeah, thanks Instagram.
expanding my
Yeah, thank you.
horizons.
Speaking of AI and, listening to our thoughts.
How dare my algorithm know me
Yeah.
to a T? All right, well, I think I've been here longer for an hour. Sorry, kept you a little later than
Oh, you're good.
expected. But is there anything else, Jay, that you want to say, or Mr. C, anything you want to say before let our listeners know before we let you go?
Well, I mean, check out the Mafia versus the Klan.
Mm-hmm.
Get on the Kickstarter in September, obviously, and support this because it looks amazing. It reads amazingly, and you will be entertained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You will
we'll
be
post
entertained.
links and stuff like that
Oh
on
yeah,
our.
facts.
Yeah, I'll end it with the pitch. The Mafia versus the KKK. It's already on Kickstarter. We've got our follower list slowly growing. We actually have some called follower and first day backer rewards that are on there at 50. Everyone who's a first day backer, quote unquote follower, you get a free year subscription to my Substack. It's a $30 value. At 100 and 150 and 200, I start giving away the physical goodies. So I've got a bunch of copies of the 6 Swords, one-time print run cover, stuff like that. So if we hit those backer goals, 100 backers, 150, 250 physical things will get added onto your pledge as, collector's items, my first book, my first whatever. So if anyone wants to check it out, go on Kickstarter, the Mafia versus the Klan. Back it before to get that one-time print run of the cover from Plaid Klaus. Yes, obviously the support in stores is great, but the Kickstarter directly helps me, helps me do more things and build more comics. That's one thing that's great about SourcePoint. They are very open and honest about their new policy and how they're running things. It is creator friendly in the way that all the Kickstarter funds, they go to me. Their split with me, it only cover my paying them or me being associated with them only comes from what they sell. Everything else that I sell is directly to me and it's supporting me as a creator. SourcePoint has been great. Dirk's been great. Josh has been great. I can't thank them enough. Anyone interested in pitching their book to them, SourcePoint has open pitches. They've got a nice page. They'll give you all the steps on how to do it. But you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, CE Massari. I can't talk. Substack. Master of None. I am the master of none. I'm good at a lot of things, but not quite great at them. If you like things like comparing Diogenes, the great Greek philosopher, to South Park, I do things like that. If you like me comparing pro wrestling to the great good and evil storytelling of the world, and J.R.R. Tolkien, Dune, stuff like that. I do weird articles that just kind of float my boat that I think of on my Substack. But the biggest thing is, like I said, the Mafia versus the Klan. It is a love story to my family. It's a love story to real life events that directly impacted my grandfather and the generational trauma kind of stuff that's flooded down from that, affected my dad, affected my aunts. This is something that affected my grandfather for the rest of his life without taking up too much time. I mean, he was having night terrors, when he was like 70 years old. One of my aunts was getting a divorce, and according to my grandfather or my grandmother, he was physically having night terrors because he thought her ex-husband or the man that she was divorcing was going to end up killing her. As a 10-year-old, seeing your sister die in front of you, that can be impactful. My cousin told me stories that when he would stay the night, he'd go to the kitchen to get a glass of water. My grandfather would just kind of be sitting on the couch, smoking a cigarette, wide awake. So this was a big, impactful thing to my family. And if I could tell that story, bring Augustina's life back in a way. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I've got mixed feelings about, using her death in this way, but also as I see it as a way to honor my family, tell their story, bring her back to life, and shed light on what happened to her, her own trauma. So again, John Wick meets the Godfather. The Mafia versus the Klan. You can become a follower today. Go on the page, build that follower account, build that first day backer account, get some cool stuff, and then if worse comes to worse, and you can pick it up through all the publishing points that SourcePoint will have sometime at the end of the year when it actually goes worldwide to all those distribution channels. If there's anything else, I hope I did not forget it. But Mafia vs. Clan Kickstarter, that helps me make more books, and me make more books, very good for me.
CE like make book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Just send us a link to all your stuff, and we'll post it.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.